Hello and welcome to another video review. This is going to be of Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2: The Sith Lords for PC. The game's set 5 years after the events in Knights of the Old Republic 1, and they do reference several of the events, such as the Star Forge idea and all that kind of stuff. And I'm not going to spoil either of the storylines for you, but you play as the Jedi Exile in this game, and you come to find out that you are pretty much the last of the Jedi as far as anyone else is concerned, even though you've been cut off from the Force and all that kind of stuff. It's all explained in the game. But you start as a Jedi in this game, unlike in the original game where you started as a soldier, a scoundrel, or a whatever the other class was. A scout, sorry. And well, you start as a Jedi class that you could have gotten in Knights of the Old Republic 1, and then later on you can get prestige classes like the Weapon Master, the Sith Lord, stuff like that. And yes, it does change depending on your alignment and stuff. So, as far as the presentation goes, they've kind of upped the ante for KOTOR 2. It does have slightly better graphics. The animations are better. There's a lot more of them. They still have the crappy lip syncing kind of thing, but that's no big deal for me. The animations are smooth. I do have some problems with certain types of armor because it's not synced up right. When you have a lightsaber or another melee weapon like a sword with certain types of armor, it's the non-force restricting armors. If you play as the man, I don't remember if it's the same as a female character or not, that the males do not hold the lightsaber or the sword or whatever with both hands. They hold it with one, and then the other hand is over there to, like it should be, only it's not actually holding the hilt or whatever. So that's a little bit annoying, but you know, such is life, I guess. The music is pretty much the same as it was in KOTOR 1. It's good, but it's not the Star Wars score you'd expect. It does work. It's nice and atmospheric. The battle music's nice, stuff like that. And the voice acting is actually pretty good this time around too. The characters are well portrayed. They do have their own unique personalities and stuff, and it's kind of nice to see that they kept that in KOTOR 2. Now, while I'm not going to tell you who the characters who reprise their roles from KOTOR are, I'm going to tell you that they do have the same voice actors that they had in the original game, and they do still portray their roles pretty well. Most of the improvements in the game actually come from the gameplay itself and stuff within the game. For instance, they added more items. You can get more lightsaber crystals. They have new blade colors, like silver, which is awesome, by the way. But they also have fixed the interface. It's bigger, it's easier to read. You know, very welcome addition there. The interface in KOTOR 1 was a bit small and awkward. But then they also, of course, added the prestige classes. Those actually do come into play and become very important later on, because they give you powers that you normally wouldn't be able to get. You know, the Weapon Master, for instance, can get superior weapon specialization and all that kind of stuff, so he gets even more bonuses on his attack than just the Guardian does. Plus, he gets the Guardian's force jump and stuff like that, so you do get a lot better powers and stuff when you become a prestige class. Now, all the force powers are pretty much the same as they were in KOTOR 1. They did add a few new ones. I can't remember which ones are new because I haven't played KOTOR 1 in a little while. So anyway, but they also added more armor, weapons, stuff like that, which is always welcome. And even characters get their own unique items this time around. Like when you start the game, you can eventually find this item called the whatever your character's name is armband, and it basically adds like a bonus to your constitution, I think, but it's, you know, personal to you. And then like the character Atton has a ribbed jacket that's unique to him, stuff like that. And so that's a pretty nice addition. Now, the game could have been great in storyline as well as the rest of the stuff and been a worthy successor to KOTOR 1 in every way, even surpassing it, except for one glaring problem that pops up throughout the game, and it's pretty obvious when it happens. The game isn't finished. They cut out a ton of content to meet the release date, and it shows half the time when you're doing something. A conversation will abruptly end. There'll be an area that you think you can access because it shows like a door on the map, but you can't go through the door. Stuff like that, and it does kind of detract from the experience. And there's even the storyline itself. The main story, it does cut out stuff, and it just bothers me because you can find these places where it just seems like something's missing, and it is. And that's why they have this mod in development called the Sith Lords Restoration Project. They hope to make the game the way it was supposed to be, because Obsidian thankfully included all of the content, well, or at least most of it, that they had not finished in the game files. So you still can hear all the sound clips and from the voice work they did for there was actually supposed to be another planet, a planet of droids, for instance, and they talk about that, stuff like that. You know, encounters that you don't get to see in the normal game, you get to see in the extra files. So this TSLRP is actually trying to fix that and make it a whole game like it's supposed to be. Now that doesn't mean the game can't be played and can't be played to completion. It can be. It just feels like stuff's missing. I mean, you go to certain areas, you just know something's wrong with it. And there are actually supposed to be romances in the game, but they got cut out because to meet the release date, and that kind of bothered me because you could do that in KOTOR 1. So I kind of like the whole romance aspect of role-playing games, but that's just me. I don't know why. Now, does the fact that the game's incomplete make it bad? Definitely not. The game is great. It could have been better than KOTOR 1 had it been totally complete and the story been, you know, a lot better than it actually is. Now, that doesn't mean that the story's bad. It doesn't mean that, you know, KOTOR 1's gameplay was bad or whatever. It just means that KOTOR 2 has better gameplay, but a worse storyline than KOTOR 1. And it could have been a lot better if they had actually taken the time to finish it. Maybe released it, you know, a couple months later or something. I don't know. But the fact that they had to cut it off to meet the release date does kind of detract from the experience. But I do highly recommend it to KOTOR fans and RPG fans in general. Other people probably aren't going to be too convinced with this game if they don't like role-playing games to begin with. So I give it a 4 out of 5. It's definitely worth picking up, but it does feel kind of incomplete. Thanks for watching.